Manchester. All right. You guys, I gotta say, we've done a lot of these conventions, and I haven't seen anything like this. You guys are amazing. Yeah.
I was saying to Jason a few minutes ago, what do you think of Manchester? And he says, this is all we've seen.
Well, I haven't really seen the city, but I've met the people, and it's incredible.
Okay, so it's the same routine. I'll ask Billy 2, 3, 4 questions, and I'll come to you. Don't be shy. If you have a question, hand in the air, and Ben, wherever he is, will come to you with the mic. Here he is. What were you doing in your career? Where were you at in your career when the Lost Boys came to you?
Wow. I was in New York City, and I was just kind of starting out as an actor. And I had already met Brooke McCarter because we were both with the same agent. And maybe I had done a small little part in this movie called 7 Minutes in Heaven, but I was still in college. Oh no, I was out of college, okay. But I was just starting out, and I was pretty green, and I went in and read for Joel Schumacher and Dick Donner. And they told me right in the room that I was going to be cast in the film, but I think I read for Kiefer's part, and I was probably not too good. And he said, you're not going to have that part, but we're going to feature you in the film, and it's going to, they told me it was going to be a big thing. They had that feeling, but I had no clue, and I was just happy to be part of the film, but I was just starting out. Yeah.
And do you recall the moment when your agent rang or you received a fax or whatever it was when they said you're in the movie and this is the part that you're playing?
He told me in the room, yeah. And I didn't know necessarily, much about, what it was going to be, but I had just sort of met Brooke, and then I flew out to California, and Brooke picked me up at the airport, and I'd never been to LA. Brooke had moved out to LA, and then he took me up to the top of Mulholland Drive, showed me the city, and he knew we were going to be in the film together, so we started to bond. But I think he knew, as an actor, we had to develop a friendship, and it just became organic, and he became my best friend. And I think that plays in the film, because I was scared to death, kind of like I am now, speaking in front of all you, but it's not my most favorite thing. But Brooke just made me feel comfortable. We had a real chemistry, a real bond. He was very animated and did a lot of fun stuff. He was very free as an actor. And I was a little more reserved. And I just remember Joel Schumacher saying to me, Billy, you don't have to worry about anything. I didn't have a lot of lines, so I was happy about that. I don't think I could have handled much more than "you missed, sucker," and I almost screwed that line up because I had those teeth in, and I just couldn't speak well with the teeth, but still it became an iconic line, and I'm grateful I got to say it. But Brooke was very, he's a little more seasoned of an actor, but the chemistry we had, and Joel's telling me that, we're just be truthful in the moment, in the space, and the camera will find you. You don't have to try to figure it out. So I just trusted him, and I just tried to live truthfully in the moment, in the space of what we were doing.
In preparation for doing these interviews, I had a look at some of the other interviews online, and there's an interview with Jason and Kiefer Sutherland where they talk about their friendship and the friendship that's evolved over the years, but the friendship that they had on the movie. And what I wanted to ask was, as an extension of that, was for those of you who are young lads on the film, these days, people talk about going on a boot camp, Saving Private Ryan. They all got together before the film because they were playing soldiers, but they were all together. Did you have a chance to do any of that? Did you have read-throughs and rehearsals, bonding, or were you kind of thrust in?
I think we had a little time to prepare, and as Jason said, I was listening, you know, Joel really gave us the freedom to explore our characters and discover, you know, what clothes and wardrobe we would wear. And Susan Becker was the stylist, and she took us out. We had a pretty unlimited budget to go up and down Melrose and pick out the rings with the eyeballs, and I picked out my jacket, and we added on the Russian flag, and so we had that time to sort of go out together and shop, and then we also had about a week with I forgot the stunt coordinator's name, Gary Davis, and we would go out and ride motorcycles, and that was just, I had ridden bikes, you know, little motorbikes when I was younger, but this was incredible to go with Brooke and the gang and go out and train on the motorcycles.
You get paid for having fun.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Okay. I'm going to come to the audience in one question's time. I've always been fascinated, and you've just alluded to it. You've got a job to do, you've got lines to deliver, you've got to act, and you've got contact lenses, and you've got teeth and all the rest of it. I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times. How was it with all of that extra stuff to deal with as a young guy just coming into a brand new business, really?
You know, the makeup artists were second to none. V. Neal went on to win Oscars for her work. Rick Baker, I think it was his name. You know, he was classic. I mean, that whole bit of preparing and getting the masks done and the prosthetics, and as we went on, they got faster and faster at doing it. But for a good 2 hours in the beginning, we'd sit in the makeup chair. But once you got that on, you know, you really felt beastly, I guess, you know, and it gave us that, you know, little extra feel of when it was time to feed. You felt, you know, like a little bit like a monster vampire, you know. So that was cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, questions? Who would like to ask Billy a question? Okay.
Hi, Billy. When was the first moment that you realized how successful Lost Boys was going to be?
You know, when we were on the set, there was definitely, at least I felt, and it was only the second movie I had done, and it was a big studio film, but there was just a vibe, you know, both up in Santa Cruz when we walked on that boardwalk, and it became a character in the film, and it was something of like a spectacle that we were in town. The circus had come to town, and all the locals would come out, and we'd be, you know, on the motorcycles, on the boardwalk at night with the lights and the cameras, and, you know, hundreds of people and extras, and Tim up on the stage jamming his music. There was something, you just felt that this was, I didn't know that this wasn't how it was all the time, but there was a vibe that this is incredible. We're doing something, we were just having a blast, but there's something of quality going on and artistry. And Joel, you know, he had such a sense of style. I guess in his early days, he would dress windows on Fifth Avenue. I mean, had a real artistic sense.
Bloomingdale's, wasn't it?
Oh, Bloomingdale's, okay. He'd do the windows, and you know, a real artistic sensibility, and you could tell, you know, Michael, what was the cinematographer's name again? Michael.
Cinematographer?
Michael.
I forget. Michael something.
Michael the cinematographer.
Chapman. And he had shot Raging Bull already. And Bo Welch was the set designer, and he created that cave. So you knew, and then, you know, Jason and Kiefer and, you know, Corey, just such talent all around us. We had a feeling that we were making something, at least I did, that there was something special going on, but really had no idea. I mean, after the movie came out, you know, got fan letters from all around the world. we had fan letters from all around the world. But when I did my first con in Milton Keynes in like 2006, and I got to meet the fans, and since then, and seeing the tattoos of all the actors on people and just the love that came back at us, did I realize that this movie held a special place in everybody, all the fans' hearts. And then years later, we still go on these events, and the response is just incredible. I mean, and then they pass it on to their children, and there's a new set of fans. But, you know, this movie lives on, and it's been such a blessing and an incredible journey. And, you know, so I kind of, it really hit me in 2006, I think.
What was interesting today is when Tim was playing, I was just
incredible.
down here, and the flames went off. So I moved back, and then I saw you and Chance and Jameson, and you were all watching. And one assumes that you get as big a kick out of it as we do.
It's incredible. I mean, to see the passion and the commitment that Tim has to playing that song, and G. Tom, and you know, and the fans responding to it. It's just it's a very special thing. This Lost Boys family and the movie and the fans, and it's a community, and you know, it's just been incredible ride.
Thank you. We've got some more questions. Yeah.
Hi, Billy. Just wanted to ask, your part in Lost Boys as a vampire, did it help you with your part as a demon in Charmed?
I didn't hear.
We didn't quite hear that. Just
Your part in Lost Boys, did it help with your part in to play a demon in Charmed?
Wow. I don't know if it helped or not. I mean, Charmed was a lot of fun with the Charmed girls and all. You know, the Lost Boys, for me, I felt a little more at ease because I didn't have as many lines. I only now, 30 years into my career, feel like my best work is ahead of me. Because even during the days of Charmed, I still had a fear, you know, and I hadn't learned to really relax, but I did the best I could, and it was a lot of fun. But with Lost Boys, I just felt, because I had my bro, Brooke, and Chance, and, you know, and it felt more comfortable with the rest of the cast that I knew. Walking onto a TV series and being a guest star is difficult at times because the whole show is moving and they're all seasoned and in a flow. But I had a good time on that. But I guess every movie helps you with the next one.
okay, we're going to do this question. Any more questions that people want to ask? We've got a few more. Okay, thank you, sir.
Hi, Billy. My father was a big Western fan, and after the Lost Boys, you did a Western war party. I was just wondering, you were the lead in that, where you were supporting cast in Lost Boys. What was the preparation? Was it vastly different to both movies? Did you feel the pressure?
You know, I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I love the experience I had up in Browning, Montana, on the Blackfeet Reservation. And Frank Rodham directed it. He's a Brit, and he's a mentor for me, and I'm going to see him this week in London. I'm going to actually stay with him. He did Quadrophenia. And, you know, when I met Frank and he cast me in that movie, you know, it was incredible. And I had ridden horses growing up because my mom was from Ottumwa, Iowa, and I had cousins who had horses, and I was comfortable, you know, in that respect. But that film, Kevin and I became great friends, and those are two of my top experiences: Lost Boys and War Party. But you know, having the lead in that was great. But I also felt very supported from Frank. And I got into the process of understanding story and storytelling, because that film, the ending we had a different ending, and Frank let us, we would always talk about how to come up with a better ending, possibly. And I actually had a hand in coming up with that ending where the war axe gets picked up and it's full circle. And they actually edited the ending a little differently. When Skitty's looking through the rifle, he never pulls the trigger in the director's cut. But the producers put a muzzle flash in there to make it justify that the National Guard shot us in defense. But the original version was never with us ever shooting them. So I have a director's cut that Frank said to upload to the internet. I'm going to do that. But
Yeah, okay.
Hi again, Billy. I'd just like to say that you were very beautiful in the film. Like, you definitely pulled off the rugged look very well. But I'd just like to ask, what was your interpretation of Dwayne and Laddie's relationship in the film?
you know, Chance is amazing, wherever he is. And I was so grateful because I was pretty scared moving into that film. And it was Brooke and Chance was like a seasoned pro. I mean, at 9 years old or whatever. He was just so cool. And I just felt like, I was going to look out for him. And I just had a connection with him that, has grown since then. But I was just very fortunate to have that little extra thing that he was on my bike with me, because it gave me something to ground myself with, a person to connect with. Because I wasn't really extroverted like Brooke, so just to have that little, connection, silent connection, just checking in on him, it was very helpful. And I love Chance, and he's a dear friend forever, and I love all the guys, man. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, next one.
Has anyone got any more questions? Hello.
There we go.
Hello. I feel really Firstly, I'd love to say how much I loved your character in the movie, and I was just wondering if you could say your line just before you got blown up by the stereo, please.
You miss sucker.
Hey, thank you very much.
I was asking Jason about the bridge sequence and hanging on the bridge. I'd always assumed that the entire thing was a set, it was a construct. He says it was a combination of a real bridge and then a set in the studio. Can you give us your memories of shooting that sequence? Because it's kind of it's Michael's entry, isn't it, into a darker world?
Yes, it was a great scene. We did shoot it on a bridge, and then we also shot it on the soundstage at Warner Brothers. And it was kind of a scary moment for me, not the physical element. We were harnessed up, and I was young and crazy and had no real fear. I was an athlete, but I was afraid when Joel said to us as we jump off the bridge, just do something. And I'm like, do something? What do you mean? You mean I gotta act? And I didn't know what I was gonna do. And I think Brooke said bottoms up or something. And then it was my turn to jump. And I was like, what am I gonna do? And I just did this thing where I shot both fingers at him. And it was an activity, a behavior. And I was kind of happy with myself that I had something to do, and it worked, But that came out spontaneously right in the moment. But and then at the soundstage, these stuntmen were amazing. They fell from up high into probably they would land into these boxes instead of like a thing, but they stacked boxes up.
Empty cardboard boxes.
Empty cardboard boxes. They'd fall down into that, and the special effects in that scene was pretty cool, with the smoke and everything. Yeah.
I know it was a job, and I know it was work, but was there a great deal of fun to be had as well, or was the nervousness of doing it slightly overwhelming?
Once we got into it, after a couple of days, it was just fun. I mean, Joel would bring us to the set even the days we weren't working. And they sometimes you have to have 12 hours turnaround, or they have to pay you a bonus. And a lot of times, you know, you have to 12 hours sleep, but sometimes we'd work and then Joel would bring us in the next day at 9 a.m. and we might have finished at 2 in the morning. So we're a forced call, they call it, and they pay us a good amount of money to come in. And those days, a lot of times, we wouldn't work. He said it was because he wanted the atmosphere of the Lost Boys on the set so he could feel that creative thing. He just loved the vibe. But I think he was trying to keep us there so we wouldn't be getting into more trouble. Yeah.
Okay. Question?
Has anybody got any more questions?
A lady at the front here, Ben.
Oh, dude, it's miles away.
Get walking.
I've well done more than 10,000 steps today for you, you know. Where am I going? Hello.
Hello. What was it like to film the scene where you were hanging upside down from the cave?
I mean, we've talked about this before, but that was a very torturous scene because we had these glass eye contacts and they'd hoist us upside down and the wire would cut into the wood and the dust would fall down and Brooke got dust in his eye, I got it in my eye, Alex might have, and once it got in there, it was like scratching you get underneath and it was painful and torturous, but we complained, but we'd still go up for another one. They'd take them out, they'd water our eyes, but it was pretty painful. But, you know, they had the glass eye contacts back then, and eventually I think they went to softer contacts. But it was a fun scene, but that wasn't my favorite. Yeah.
If you've ever seen the original TV miniseries of Salem's Lot, and the chief vampire, Mr. Barlow, has the yellow eyes, the guy who created the contact lenses for Mr. Barlow did the contact lenses for our friends in the Lost Boys. How about that? Yep.
Hi, I was wondering, after the filming of Lost Boys had finished, were you allowed to keep any mementos or did you take anything?
Yes, I did. I was given two of the jackets with the leopard on the side. The jacket I kept. For some reason, the paint job wasn't as good, so when I was out in the rain, it kind of melted off. My girlfriend at the time had the other jacket, and we're since long apart, but about a year or two ago, and I thought, she said the jacket got stolen. She thought it had, but she found it recently in storage somewhere, so she has it again. And recently, when I was back in New York City, and I was going through a box, I found the necklace, one of the original necklaces I had. And I think those are the 3 items I kept. I might have kept the flag too, but definitely the jacket I still have. Yeah.
So you were given these, you didn't steal them?
Yeah, I think I was given them.
Another one?
I would have kept the dog, one of the motorbikes.
Just before we come to another audience question, you mentioned with War Cry about the director's...
War Party?
War Party,
Yeah,
my era. About the director's cut. Did you film anything for Lost Boys that was cut and that didn't make it into the movie? Any lost scenes?
You know, that's a good question. I think you'd have to ask Joel. I don't remember any scenes that we shot that didn't make the film, so I don't know. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yep. Oh, I thought that lady was asking us a question.
Was it? Am I just being ignorant? Has anyone not too far away got? Oh.
Someone right over here.
Okay.
Lady with the red hair.
Hi. With everybody else involved with the film kind of doing their tours and bringing their music to the UK, like Keith doing his tour and G-Tom Mac, are you ever going to bring your music to the UK?
You know, I haven't. I have my guitar player and Steven, and then my another friend of mine, JJ, and I've been talking with them recently, and another producer of my friend of mine, Sky, that I've worked with. And I miss the music, and I hope to get something going again. But I was actually thinking about that yesterday or the day before, and I think that's something that I hope to finish what we started, because we wrote a lot of songs. We tried to record some of them. I never felt they ever came out the way I would like. But I think that's something that's going to come, and I'd love to bring it here to the UK. Thank you.
We'll be here. Final question from me. Where were you when you saw the completed film for the first time? Was it a premiere? Was it a preview? Was it something with the public? Can you remember?
I think I saw it. Wow, it was a long time ago. I think it was in. It might have been at the Directors Guild in Los Angeles, but I can't remember. Yeah.
But no red carpet premiere?
What's that?
No red carpet premiere?
You know, there might have been. I don't know if I don't remember. You know, I should, but you know.
I think there should have been.
Yeah.
But if there wasn't, at least we were able to give you this.
Yes. Thank you.
Ladies and gents, Billy Wirth.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony.